Alright, well, good morning or afternoon class, whichever period it is. I am not here today. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here, so I'm creating this video as sort of a substitute. So, it's better than nothing. Just to start off, though, let me say this. The video oftentimes lags behind the audio. In other words, I could write the number 1, 2, and 3 with my finger, and you'll probably notice that the video is lagging behind the audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to slow down in what I'm doing, and hopefully it won't be too bad. But if that happens, that's that's not me. That's the video and the stuff I'm using, the tools I'm using. So without further ado, let me go ahead and tell you what we're doing today. At first, everybody should have this worksheet. So if you don't have this worksheet, please pause the video, pass the worksheet out, make sure everybody has one, and then we can move forward. What we're going to do today is we're pretty much going to get familiar with angles and measurement of angles. I know it seems kind of silly, but I think it's important that we play around with angles and we understand that an obtuse angle cannot be 25 degrees. And really that's something you probably learned in early grades like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. But it doesn't hurt to touch on it again. I think sometimes we leave common sense at the door when we walk into a math class, and we forget about using common sense and things like that when solving math problems. So what we're going to do is just kind of a refresher. We're going to be using this guy here. This is a protractor. We're going to use it to measure and create angles. And so first thing I'm going to do is show you how this thing works. Most of you probably already know, but I'm going to show you anyways. So I'm going to start off by drawing an angle, and then we're going to measure it using this protractor. So here's an angle, and we can measure this angle using this protractor here. So how does that work? Well, on the protractor you have a little circle. It's an opening. That circle is going to go on the vertex of your angle. And so let me kind of highlight what I'm talking about here. This point right here where your two lines come together, your two rays come together, is your vertex. You want to place that circle right on that vertex. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is whatever line you have as your baseline, the bottom line, you want it to line up and get right on top of this line here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a line here. Let me see if I can focus it. Okay, there's a line here that kind of breaks and continues on over here. And you want to make sure that your bottom line, your bottom ray part of your angle, lines up with these lines here. Okay? And so let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me do this with my protractor. I'm going to put my vertex in the center. I'm going to move it around so that these lines are right on top of my bottom ray here, the bottom part of my angle. And then you measure up. And so wherever the top ray, the top part of your angle, wherever it crosses the protractor, is the measure of your angle. And so I'm going to zoom in, see if you can see this here. Okay. There are two measures. There's a measure on the bottom and there's a measure on the top. I hope it's obvious that we're using the measure on the bottom. It starts at 0, goes to 10, 20, 30, and we're going to be at about 38, 39 degrees. So I'm going to call this an even, let's say 30. Let's go 39. Why not? So this angle measures 39 degrees. Okay? The numbers on top, if you're curious, or if you're going in this direction, then you would use the numbers on top. For example, let's say you started measuring the angle and it was pointed to the left, and you put your vertex on the circle, you lined up the bottom part of your angle, and then as you're measuring, now you would use the top marker. So 0, 10, 20, 30, and then look again, it still says 38, 39 degrees. Okay, so you need to be careful, make sure you're using the right markers. If you're starting from the left, use the top. If you're starting from the right, use the bottom. And that's how you measure an angle. Okay, you're going to run into a few problems today, and we're going to solve those problems for you. So when you get your worksheet, the first thing the worksheet asks you to do is to find the measure of each angle. So let me focus here. Find the measure of each angle to the nearest degree. Here's the problem. You go to lay this on here, and the angles aren't nearly long enough. Okay, so let me zoom in again so you can see. This angle, both parts of this angle, aren't really cutting it when it comes to this protractor. One, it doesn't reach all the way over here to make sure I'm lining it up right. And two, it doesn't reach up here to figure out the measurement. And so to solve that, we're going to take a pencil. I encourage you to use a pencil. If you have a pen, go borrow a pencil. They're located at the front of the room by my pencil sharpener, which is also where the protractors are located. So if you haven't got one of those, you need one of those too. But yeah, I probably should have told you to get one of those at the beginning of class. Get a protractor. While you're up there, get a pencil if you need one. Pause this video if you need a little break. Welcome back. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to extend these lines. So I'm going to take a pencil, I'm going to line my protractor up, and I'm going to make these lines longer. Okay, and I'm using a pencil here because I'm going to do it lightly. Make them longer in both directions. So let's see here. I'm just going to extend the line. And so it's the same angle, it's just a whole heck of a lot longer. And what that allows us to do is a couple things. One, make sure that vertex is in the very center of your circle. One, it allows us to line up this bottom part of the angle with our protractor. And then two, it allows us to measure the angle up top here. And so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. This looks like it's at 79 degrees. So I would call this angle 79 degrees. Okay. So let me do another one. Let me jump over to number 6. Number 6. Again, I know this paper, with the angles being so small and the lines being so short, presents a problem using this protractor. But we're going to try to overcome it best we can by extending the lines as long as we have room on our paper to do so. Getting creative. And making our angles larger. Okay. By doing this, you're assuming a degree of error, like a small degree of error, but in the end it probably won't matter much. So again, put your angle, your vertex of your angle right in the middle of the circle, line up the protractor here on the bottom, and then we're going to measure the angle here. So 10, 20, looks like 21, 22. Okay, so I'm going to call this one even 22 degrees. Okay, that's number 6. So go ahead and do the rest of these. You know, extend the lines best you can. I think the one that'll probably give the most trouble is 5, 9, and 10. The reason being, really 5 and 9. The reason being is as you try to extend the lines, you may run out of paper. What I recommend when doing that is maybe get you another sheet of paper, and then as you extend the lines, let's say for number 5, you just extend them right off your paper right onto another sheet of paper and then use that. And so, you know, that'll kind of help you use your protractor. So again, get creative, figure out ways to find solutions to the problems you're having. Okay, so that's the first part of the worksheet, is to measure these degrees. The second part of the worksheet, if you flip it over, is you're actually going to draw an angle with the given measurement. So, for example, number 11, we want to draw a 90-degree angle. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this protractor again to draw a 90-degree angle. Again, you have to make this line longer, or else it's not going to line up very well. So just make it a little bit longer. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off, we're going to take the beginning part of this line, and we're going to make that our vertex by placing that inside of the circle. And then by extending the line, we're able to line up our protractor, just like this. Okay? Now, if you recall, it wanted a 90-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here where it says 90. I'm going to make a mark right at 90 degrees, which for me is right on top of the H for the. And so now that I got my mark, I connect the vertex with the mark. And you should have an angle which is really close to 90, if not exact. And so I'll do another one. So why don't we do, let's say, number 16. Okay. Again, for number 16, I'm going to extend this line to give me a better start. I'm going to take the beginning of the line, put it in here, line up the line here at the bottom of the protractor. Now number 16 asks for 166 degrees. And so I'm going to scoot this whole thing over so you can see. Make sure I'm still lined up here. So 166 degrees. So if I'm starting from the right side, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Okay, so that's 160. So right here is 160. Let me zoom in just a little bit. So that's 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166. It's located right here. That's 166. So now I'll connect the vertex with that line. And I have an angle whose measure is 166 degrees. Okay? Your job is to simply complete the worksheet. Some of you are going to get done early, and that's fine. Remember that the worksheet you received yesterday on Monday had a lot of work on it, and so you may want to take that out and finish that worksheet because you didn't get it completed yesterday. All these worksheets are due on Friday, and so make sure you have them all done Friday. If you have any questions, please watch this video over again. I hope it helps. If I have my way, I'm going to upload it on the website. I'm not sure if that's exactly possible, but I'm going to try it anyway. So check the website or check the app, and somewhere on there, hopefully, fingers crossed, this video will make it to the website. I hope it was helpful. Y'all, when you get done, put your protractors up. Put the pencil you borrowed back into my pencil bucket, and that's it. Hope you have a great day. Be kind to the substitute, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.